I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side. Staying alive was no job, had second hands. Moms bounced on old men, so then we moved to Shaolin Land. A young youth, you're rocking the go-to, low goose. Only way I begin to G-York was drug loot. And let's start it like this, son. Rolling with this one and that one, pulling out gats for fun. But it was just a dream for the teen who was a fiend. Started smoking wools at 16 and running up in gates and doing hits for high stakes, making my way off fire escapes. No question I was speed for crack.
Hey guys, welcome to Portraits and Coffee, where we'll be doing interviews along with portrait sessions with a couple of friends of mine, mainly focusing on fashion and film photography. We'll be testing out different film cameras along with different film stocks. Today we're going to be interviewing Francis of Nothing Usual in Santa Ana, California, which is a print and skateboard shop. We're going to be shooting with the Mamiya Rb67 with a 127 3.8 along with the Nikon 35ti. And we're going to be using Kodak 400 speed film on both of those. So let's get into it.
Yeah, my name is Francis Ignacio, and I run a shop called Nothing Usual. And we are a skateboard retail shop with a print/design studio affixed to the back of it. And that's where we are today. This is like our little office area. It's pretty much a space where we can kind of pick and choose who we want to work with, and kind of put a product that we believe in, you know, stuff that we would actually wear and that we would actually use, and also like kind of like teach kids how to like even get their hands dirty and maybe even print or design or things like that. You know, it's like kind of like a community workspace. And then the shop, obviously, like the front being like mostly like skateboards, books, and zines and stuff like that. It just kind of like the flag, you know, we put that out there and they kind of come in, and then from that point they turn from customer / like consumer, and then we kind of sift out to like, hey, like this kid's pretty cool, like he's been coming around a lot and he's interested. And then we kind of, you know, they kind of start checking out the back, and you know, next thing you know, they're back here helping out. And that's how we're building our community. So that's the formula, I guess. So good luck mimicking it. I encourage you to, you know, if you there's no money in it, but it's very satisfying, you know. My family's originally from like the Cerritos, Bellflower area. It's like southeast LA, and I had a bunch of like cousins and uncles that were all like kind of like into gangs and stuff, and they were getting like literally killed and shot. And one of my aunts like loaned my mom some money and was like, get your kid out of this area because like look what's happening, you know. And so I ended up out in Moreno Valley, Riverside area, and that's where I discovered like skateboarding and like riding BMX in the dirt and stuff like that. And then after a little while, you know, street skating hit hard, and everyone was trying to like be on some New York, like Philly, like street shit. And then, you know, you start finding hip hop, you start finding graffiti and things like that. And then that's kind of what got me into it, was graffiti and just like drawing. And in high school there was a print graphics class, and it was kind of like the class was almost meant to like print the school newspaper and like PE clothes and shit. And but every once in a while it was like, if you got in good with that teacher, he'd, you know, if you saw something that you were working on, he'd let you make a t-shirt out of it. And I would just stay in, I wouldn't even go to lunch. I'd just brown bag it, bring my lunch to that class, and then just, hey, can I burn a screen? Can I make some t-shirts? And then it was just, you know, you start off making like band shirts, like fake shit that like you just, I still do that to this day, you know, like if I see a band and they don't have a shirt that out, but I want to rep it, like I'll still make a shirt for myself, you know what I mean? And it's just how it is, you know? So that's how it started. And then from there it was just downhill, like screen printing and graphics, and then learning how to use like the computer, you know, like Photoshop and Illustrator and stuff. And that's pretty much it. So that's the intro to how I got into that. After that, just building with friends, you know, like, hey, I can make you a shirt, or this is your little thing, I can do a shirt for that, let's do some shirts. And then it goes from the garage setup to full-blown shops, you know, pretty quickly. So that's kind of how it worked. As far as like this place, Nothing Usual, I have a business partner of mine. owned this store, this space. It was just like a streetwear shop, you know, and then it was kind of like, you know, the area wasn't really developed. It still isn't really developed, but it was kind of like, you know, on the fritz, I guess you could say. Like they were just kind of over it, and we had like a little lunch meeting down here, and he just kind of like showed me the spot, and I was like, cool. And he's like, what do you think about this place? And he kind of was just like, you know, like giving me these little hints, and then I was like, what do you want to do? And then I had just kind of like got out of closing my own personal shop. I had like the same type of setup. It was literally the skate shop in the front, and a print shop in the back, and then we even were doing like a bunch of bike stuff, because all of the kids that were coming in were like riding fixed gear bikes, and then they were getting flat tires. And so I was like, I know how to change a flat tire. Like start getting inner tubes, and then turned into like, let's start getting parts, and next thing you know, we're half a fucking bike shop. And so I kind of got burnt, you know what I mean? So I learned the hard way that like business is tough, like when you're doing everything by yourself. So this way we kind of like partnered up. I told him I'll run the front end of the house as long as I could bring in the back end of the house, and you know, the rest is history. We're here. We're 2 years in now, and I think we're going to be fine. You know, we have a bunch of new growth and development coming into the area, and I feel pretty responsible for helping a lot of that come through. And it's going to be pretty good, man. I think in the next 5 years, this area is going to be okay, you know? Yeah, I'm pretty much doing all the design here. I do obviously incorporate our buddies that want to contribute, but like as far as creative direction and things like that, I guess I'm steering the ship for now. I definitely want to build upon this to where the shop kind of is like running itself, and I'm actually looking to probably even move the back studio end of it to downtown LA, just because most of the work that we're doing is going in that direction. It just makes more sense to just be there and operate like Nothing Usual as a brand, and leave this as like the house, you know what I mean? Like this is like where it's all coming from, and it'll still be the same way, but I want to definitely, like in the future, you know, years down the road, focus on like branding this thing properly and creating, you know, just letting the tree kind of grow, you know what I mean? Like I want it to be a spot to where, you know, we can have photography permanently set up, maybe a station for production permanently set up, you know, storage, online fulfillment, just all in all, a bigger headquarters. This back room is slowly getting smaller, and we have to definitely prepare for it, you know? So, yeah, design right now is kind of weird. You know, there's a lot of these companies that are just like getting like 4 designs or 4 graphics of like companies and just smashing them together on one t-shirt, like this like weird like irony thing. But it's like almost just like they're riding this hyper current wave, you know, like some current event can happen today and there's like a fucking meme of it, and the next thing you know there's like 3 t-shirts of it, and that's cool, like yeah, it works, you know, but I feel like it's just like empty, you know what I mean? Like there needs to be a little bit more. Like you might be able to do that and make a couple bucks real quick, but at the end of the day, like, is that what you want fucking people to remember you for? Is just like that corny ass like on like, you know, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, dude? Like I don't know, but there's a lot of that going on, and they're just riding these waves, and that's cool. But like I'd rather, you know, just take that one big one in, you know what I mean? Like I think the direction that I've been moving in, and that I want all our homies and things, like the people that we work with that move in the same movement, it's more of a long haul. Like this is a lifestyle thing. Like we're not like trying to do this. This is all we know how to do, and we do what kind of like feels right. You know what I mean? Design stuff right now is definitely, there's a lot of good stuff, and it's definitely like, it sucks because a lot of those kids are doing these projects and they feel almost like, damn, like no one's ever gonna see this, or I'm never gonna have enough money to like turn this into a brand or a clothing line or whatever they feel it must be. So we'll see, man. I mean, I think that those like empty kind of like quirky designs are definitely gonna start phasing out, and then like the substance will kind of overpower the hype. It's just gonna have to, you know, there's gonna be a crossroads. I mean, and if you can kind of balance both of them, then you're good. But I feel like the whole like memes on t-shirts, tumblers on t-shirts, like that stuff's gonna die out soon. It has to. People can only be like satisfied with that for so long, and then they kind of like start looking back and thinking like, oh my god, like what was I thinking or wearing or doing, you know? So I mean it's better to just be doing what you should have been doing in the first place, you know? Like they try to like take from the street, like in general, like the small like designer, or like, I mean it sucks, like that's just how it is, kind of. Like I mean obviously like I would do my best never to do anything like that, but I mean it's happening, it's been happening, and it's always gonna happen. So I think the best thing to do is kind of like what I was going through saying earlier, like just do that work, your best work that you can, and you got to put it out there. You know, don't be scared like people are gonna jack me or whatever. Like they're gonna take it whether they want or whether you want it or not, right? So like if you have this idea, just go ahead and put it out there, and let people know that you're putting it out there, so when somebody else does do it, they can say, hey, no, you know, this dude did it first. Like you might have more money and more power or whatnot, but we did see it documented on this kid's little Instagram or this kid's blog or whatever first. So make some noise, you know what I mean? Like if you got this cool idea, don't just hide it to yourself. You know, I know you want to master it and you want to be ready and, you know, this and that, but at least let motherfuckers know, like, you started doing this thing, because, you know, that always is the person that's crying about it later, and it's like, sorry, dude, like, everyone's doing it now. So it happens a lot, but, you know, you just got to make noise and make sure that you're letting people know that that's what direction you're moving in. That's how I feel about that thing, you know, like, it's going to happen regardless, man. They're going to take anything they can and just run it over, you know.